let's go.
So I've coached this build quite a bit in other coaching sessions.
Yeah, okay.
It's a Roach Hydra Viper build.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Is it similar to the one that you showcased on the video?
Yeah, it's basically that. If you already do that though, if you know it, we can do another build.
Actually, I'd rather do that build because I usually hit like a couple minutes later than on the video, and I don't really know why. I don't really
Okay.
know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll do that. So, just like a big reminder of that build, the build we're about to go into.
Yeah.
Like, the whole aim of it is to play like as like economy focused as possible, so you can go for the big muta switch.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So like Joe, hitting the timing isn't like essential, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to kill him there. You're trying to be safe there. You just want to survive. Like you want to be making as little units as possible, like just so you can survive. Unless you want to be hitting aggressive timings. Joe, it just depends what type of player you are, and it depends what you're scouting, of course. So like if I see the opponent going for like a robo-based army, you know, more often than not with robo-based armies, they're going to be hitting timings. So I'll be making lots of units and maybe going for aggressive timings myself. Whereas if he opens for a Stargate, more often than not they'll play pretty passively, Joe, going for a big Void Ray army and maybe Sky Toss. So I'll actually barely making like units at all, Joe, barely, just so I can get a huge gas bank. And then when he's maxed going across the map with Void Rays and stuff, I'll just make like 60 meters, kill the Stargates and pylons, and he just can't do anything. Cause like he's maxed out, you know, he can't make enough units to deal with my Void Rays. Or deal with my mutas.
Yeah.
So this game I'm not gonna lose my Overlord.
Okay, you'll be the first one today not to lose it, actually.
Okay, so you tell me how you want the Protoss to play. So, is he playing Nexus first? Is he proxy 2 gating me? Is he 4 gating me?
I guess maybe gate expand, just normal gate expand.
Okay, sure.
That's the most common thing.
Okay.
And actually, I've seen you open against FFE the game before, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. Perfect. And feel free to ask questions whenever at this stage of the game, because you know it's pretty slow.
Yeah. Okay.
Overlord positioning is a pretty big point. You know, like instead of sending over all of your overlords like just some random space in the map, you might as well make use of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, sending them to proxy locations that you've been hit with before. So for example, on this map, my potential gold fort base, the top left base, overlord there, the middle, the base underneath my main, all those places are good places to put an overlord, just to see if you have the probe there.
Okay. So in maps like this, for example, do you still open 15 pawn to 16 hatch? If you see.
No, I actually open 15 hatch a lot of the time, but I saw you open 15 poo last game, so you know I decided to do it again. It's not a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
Just depends how confident you are dealing with a cannon rush.
Yeah. Okay. The answer is not much, actually.
Loco did a very good guide on dealing with cannon rushes, where he like notices them. Did you see that? I do that a lot, and it wins a lot.
I actually did that once in Habitation. I remember, but I think that's the only time I've tried that.
Okay.
I'm always kind of unsure of when to try gimmicky things because I always think they're gonna fail.
Gotta be confident, man.
Yeah, I guess.
If you don't believe in your build, then how can it work?
Yeah.
Okay, so I scout the natural and I see no wall, which you know obviously means gateway. So I'm gonna get my gas and I gotta add 3 minutes 20 seconds. Okay. Droning. No need for a link at the moment because my overlord can see everything.
Okay. What if he was going for 4-gate opening, you'd see the gateways being placed down with your overlord, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you see no expansion by 4:45, you can guess he's gonna go for 1 base. Just guess.
No, I was meaning the 4-gate off of 2 base. But I'm
gonna say not like you know as well as that.
Yeah. Okay.
So 28 gonna get an overlord. Taking guys off gas. Getting speed, droning.
We require more minerals.
Pressing S, pressing D.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say for example I see 3 more gates come down the wall.
Yeah.
So I have a good drone count, Lara piling up. I'm gonna make a bunch of lings, up to like 16 lings.
Okay.
This might be like an overreaction because he might scout this and be like, oh, I might just not bother, you know?
Yeah.
But I think at diamond level anyway, it's just better to be safe.
Yeah, exactly.
So with those lings I made, I'm gonna take the watchtowers. I'm gonna go to proxy locations that are common. And I'm also gonna take my other base. 6 minutes, back in gas. Maybe a bit late, but it doesn't really make a big deal. Scouting all around, you don't see anything. And that's how you defend against that type of build anyway. Maybe my links could have been in a bit earlier, because a 4 gate zealot hits around, I think the timing is 6 minutes, around then.
Yeah, around the
Yeah, so I think maybe making a few lings earlier on, maybe like 8 lings max.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting my lair at 7 minutes, I'm gonna get an evo chamber at the same time. Making overlords, injecting.
What's the difference actually between 1 or 2 evo chambers? Like, does it really make a big difference? Or
it just helps it helps you get the layer faster, and this helps you with your gas spending, because card base isn't a big deal when you're going for aggressive timings. You don't really need it.
Okay.
So at 7 minutes 30, I'm gonna get a gas, just to be a bit different. I'm gonna spread out my gases rather than getting both at the same time.
Okay.
And I'm gonna drone my third base a bit. Gonna take a macro hatch.
Yeah, macro hatches are a thing I tend to forget most of the time.
Ah, it's fine. Just get in the habit of it. Just force yourself to do it, etc. Oh, see a cheeky probe over there. He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Gonna add on my second gas or my fourth one maybe a bit late. And it's droning. Droning. Oh, I forgot a roach horn. My bad. For some reason I thought we were doing the Hydra build again.
Yeah.
Whoops. So yeah, that roach horn should have came down at the same time as the Evo.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna pretend I saw a third base come down, and I'm gonna get an infestation pit. Okay. I'm gonna take a fourth base, and I'm gonna take my other gases. So, okay, seeing that third base comes down means that he's not gonna go for a 2 base all in, okay?
Okay.
Obviously, it's in the name, like. So I can play greedy and just go into whatever I want to do. And I'm also gonna take another Evo chamber, because I rather stay on 1 Evo when I'm against 2 base all in, because I want to get as much unit saves as possible.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I always tend to go for double Evo just in autopilot, but I know that's a thing that I shouldn't do, especially against 2 base.
It's in ZvP mainly. It's not a good idea to do that.
Okay.
So my hive is starting just before 10 minutes, which means I can probably hit this timing shortly after maybe 14 minutes.
Okay.
Then. Those timings are really important. It's just nice to know when the base you're gonna hit. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And just
definitely.
droning away, injecting, and around this time I'm gonna be just making lots of units. Gonna get a Hydra Den mid hive.
Okay, mid hive. Okay, that's nice to remember.
Not losing an overlord. I'm not. Not gonna happen. I'm just gonna draw my gold bin out a bit. Oh god, don't die. Don't die. No. Yay.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take a 5th base just because I can.
Yeah.
And in this situation, it's okay to get groove spines first because you're not hitting a timing. And with this, you're generally playing passive. So save me up for Vipers. Gonna get 3 Vipers. It's good. This is a good amount. Gonna send some drones from my main down to my gold. 12 exactly, because that's the optimal on a gold. Gonna make maybe 10 hydralisks. Don't want more than 10, because you don't need them. It's just for a bit of DPS in the back. Because if I have too much, then I need tanky units, like roaches.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't want to be making too much lings at this point. Any Ling you do make is good for counter-attacking, but you don't want them in the main army for obvious reasons, because that's not strong enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So like at this point, I'll be going for counter-attacks with them. Just making lots of units.
Metamorphosis complete.
So have you figured out like what part of the build you've been like struggling with that you couldn't hit the timing?
Yeah, I think it's I took the hive a little bit too late.
Okay, that's pretty common though, because like if you don't see the like his extra base come down, you can't really take it, like you have to take an educated guess pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Forces are under attack.
like
think-
is it just you're not scouting him, or
I think it's even if I'm scouting him, I just feel always super unsure on when to take, on when to not take, because maybe it's that I don't really scout enough, I guess.
yeah.
I would.
So like just basically when you see him take a base, he's not gonna go for an attack soon at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
So like if he takes a base at like 40 minutes, that's a whole different ballpark. But if he
Yeah.
takes a base at this time, 8 minutes, you can tell he's not gonna go for a big all-in, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm maxed out and it's 14 minutes, the timing I said. This is a minute later than the timing that like if you're planning to go for the 13-minute timing to start with, you're gonna hit it 13 minutes. But that involves like skipping the whole defensive phase against the 2-base all-in, which you'll probably lose to. This is Hyun style. This is kind of like the style I base the build off. But the best thing about this part of the build, is that you don't skip the defensive stage. So you're gonna have units to defend against all-ins if he has it. And then when you scout him going macro, you just straight into your own macro. And my Spire came down too late, by the way. Spire should have came down after I made the Vipers.
Okay.
So that's a good time to note. And then at this point, you're just gonna get loads of gases. You're gonna get like 20 bases, and just trade with the Protoss, stuff like that. Pull stuff into you, and all that stuff. I'd like to talk a bit about how to play this style a bit more, because it's a bit complicated, especially when the mutas come out. So okay, let's just talk about. I'm not gonna be playing anymore now, so my money's gonna float really high. So just don't take note of that. But okay, so it's 14 minutes, and you have a maxed out army, and you have the Vipers and Hydras and Roaches, and you're getting your upgrades. Okay.
Okay.
So you're all really standard. Making bases, getting your Spire, upgrading. Maybe not a big deal to get +3, but we'll just get it anyway.
Okay.
So you're waiting for your bank to get really high. Yeah, you understand why, do you?
Yeah, of course.
So you can get a big meter ball out.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you're just
Big
trading
meter.
as little as possible with the Protoss. So like let's say the Protoss is at the gold base right now, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send a few units around there, but we won't do it at this stage. So I'm gonna attack up. I'm gonna pull a few things with the Vipers, kill a few, and back off. I'm not even engaging fully. Just trading as little as possible, just so I can just basically do as much as I can. Like if I can hit him, I might as well hit him. No point letting him just go one hit. If you can do damage, always do damage. And you know when to do damage from when you're scouting. When you're hitting with your Roach Hydra Viper, that's a good time to send the Lings you made earlier on into his main base or something, just to do damage. Okay, so let's say I'm at a 50k bank and I want to go into mutas, alright?
Yeah.
So I'm actually just, even if it's a sloppy engagement, I don't care. Just gonna attack right in. I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna focus fire anything I can. I'm gonna abduct everything in. Really, really, really important to note. Try and save the Vipers, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
I'll explain why in a second. Just try and save them, okay? So let's say, I wish I didn't make all these units.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kill them all. Okay, so let's say I lost all my army and I traded decently. Could have traded a bit better maybe. Didn't go as well as I wanted to. I'm gonna go into my mutas. Why? Because I have a huge bank and I might as well. For obvious reasons. So maybe you could actually get a second Spire as well earlier on, just to reinforce Muta push. And from here you're playing Muta Corruptor Ling, and you can actually go into Ling upgrades at this stage.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Isn't then gonna be aren't then gonna be really late compared to the Protoss upgrades?
Well, you're not attacking the army with the Lings. You're base racing with the Lings.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe getting adrenal glands, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I basically lost like all my roaches and stuff in a really big engagement that went horribly wrong for me. So now you just make lots of Mutalisks. Hold down the T button.
Yeah.
And I have 50 Mutalisks. And okay, now playing Muta Corruptor. That's like this is a kind of a topic in itself. So do you often play Muta Corruptor?
Not at all, actually.
Okay, brilliant.
Sometimes Muta switches, but not really the
Okay.
Muta Corruptor style.
Okay, so I just made my Mutas. What do you think the first thing I'm gonna do is? Just take a guess.
Go to his main base and try to
Okay,
pick off
yeah,
things from there.
Perfect. So I'm gonna go to the main base where my Mutas, and I'm gonna the Vipers I made earlier are gonna be where are the Vipers? Okay, I'm gonna bring the Vipers with me. Okay, the reason why I made the Vipers earlier is because there's a really like kind of cute thing you can do with the Vipers with the Mutas. You can like abduct like Archons and you can abduct like Phoenixes and stuff into the Muta ball, and it's really cost effective. Like MYI player Cyril does it a lot.
Yeah.
It's really cute. Like
Yeah, that's actually never thought about that actually.
yeah, because like you know you might just lose your Vipers, but like losing your Vipers, there's no point. It's like Joe, you made them earlier on, you might well keep them.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really important to focus the right buildings and the right stuff when you go into the main base. Okay, so the very first thing you want to be setting your eyes on is the Stargate. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's
And
makes
you know,
sense, yeah.
you don't want him to get a big Phoenix count, because the less Phoenixes he has, the less Corruptors you need, and that means more Mutalisks, and just basically more damage for you. The second thing you want to be going for is Econ, hitting probes, doing as much damage to the probe line as possible, like just try to kill all his probes. You want to go for pylons because you can just one-shot pylons so easily with this, like so easily. And if like he might have like 4 pylons powering like 12 gates, just kill the 4 pylons, takes like 2 seconds, and then that's like 12 units he can't make every I think 40 seconds.
Yeah.
This is ideal. Templar Archive, really important. Another really key building is a forge. Seriously, like killing a forge is just huge. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say I made my Mutas and the Protoss has a 200 army of Colossi, Archon, Void Ray, and you know Zealous, all that. So he sees my Mutalisks and he's like, okay, I don't want to play the macro game. I'm gonna go for a big base race. And after while I'm doing my base race, I'm gonna make like 100 cannons at my fort base.
Yeah.
Right. Killing the forge, he can't make cannons anymore. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like I don't want him to make cannons. I want him to make no cannons. So I'm gonna kill the forge, and he can't build cannons anymore, which is just huge because that'll really screw things up. Even if you have like 50 Mutalisks, it sucks. It really does. So yeah, they're their key buildings. So like this is run over it again. Stargate, Econ, pylons, forge, and Templar archives, and a cybernetics core. And if you see a fleet beacon upgrading, just hit that fleet beacon. Hit it hard. You don't want him to get that upgrade. So then, with regards like attacking the army and stuff, generally you don't want to attack the army unless you really are confident that you might win. Like just a horror story. I was playing on Polar Night, and it was against a Grandmaster Protoss, and I did this build, and like I was like 200 supply, and you know I was just perfect, doing really well. And he had 1 building left, and he had his whole army at my base. And instead of killing that 1 building and just winning the game, I decided to be really like full of myself and just go kill the army. You know, he had like maybe 60 stalkers and like a couple of Archons and stuff and a few storms. And like I split my army really well and stuff, but it's just the upgrades. The upgrades killed me. And even though I had so much mutas and such a good econ and everything, like he killed my army and he just went down and won the game. And I just threw it by doing that. Okay, so. Never ever attack the army unless you're completely sure you can win. Always just go for the base and go for the base race, because like the big key thing about Mutalisks is that they're fast, so you should abuse their mobility as much as possible. Just like move everywhere. Same with the Lings, you know, just move everywhere. Another smart thing to do when base racing is just send drones everywhere. Like just build hatcheries in like the most stupid places as possible that he just
Yeah.
will not expect. Like I'll give an example. I send drones to his main base and build it in the corner up in the top. Cause like he might go in and check the mineral line and say, oh no hatch. He probably didn't build a hatchery here.
Yeah.
Whereas they never really check the top left. Other places like I like getting, seeing as I have such a big econ, I like getting overlord speed and overlord drop. And then when I see the base race coming, I just send all the drones into the overlords and I send them off somewhere. And
Yeah.
then when the army goes away, I just send them back in and build hatcheries where they've already been. Because,
Yeah.
like, if they've been to a place, they're not going to go to that place again unless they've been all around the map. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Because they wanna hit as much places as possible. Like, just like cute things like that. Like, on a map, like I did this on Whirlwind one time. Like, I put my drones into the overlords and sent them off. And I brought them back into the different places and built hatcheries. And, like, it won me the game just by doing stuff like that. Like, just like think outside the box. Like, think what will he not expect me to do, and do that.
Yeah.
While
Okay.
base racing and stuff like that. You can build like a ton of spine crawlers at bases if you want, but I'm not a big fan of that. Like I just don't really see the point in doing it when I have the money to spend on other stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather spend money on Mutalisks and more hatcheries rather than a bunch of spine crawlers that will get killed off. I guess the only reason why you'd want to go for the spine crawlers is if you want to like actually take on the army and kill them that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's basically the 101 on how to play Mutalisks in ZvP after doing this build.
Nice.
Joe, like if you're against Phoenixes, like obviously send the corruptors after the Phoenixes and keep the mutas safe.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Joe, things like if you're looking at my vision right now,
Yeah.
like I'm running, and then back attack move, running, back attack move. Like you'll pick off a few Phoenixes just by him being unaware of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then you can pull stuff in, things like that. If he gets like 25 Phoenixes, might be a smart idea to get Burrow and get like 4 or 5 Infestors just to fungal them.
Yeah.
And then go for like Infestor, Muta, Viper, Corruptor kind of style.
Yeah.
If you like adding in Vipers, it's not a bad idea to just like maybe build like 2 or 3 more if they die. But generally I won't bother because I'd rather spend the gas somewhere else. But like you definitely can't do that. Like the only reason you use the Vipers is because like you made them, you might as well make a second use of them, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically. I hope you understand how to play like this kind of build more.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm
Plus, it's a really safe build. Like, I really like this build actually.
yeah. It's pretty strong, alright. It's probably one of my favorite builds in ZvP. That and the Hydra thing, actually. I try playing
Yeah.
other styles a bit, but it's kind of difficult. Like for example, the double Evo 1/1 Lings. Like,
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to do that against 2 base all-ins because
Yeah,
you know you just for obvious reasons you have Lings and they have good stuff.
I used to do that build a lot back at the start of Heart of the Storm.
Okay.
Basically, when Linux started doing it.
Yeah.
For the first couple times.
Yeah, he did it in DreamHack, didn't he?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm gonna say another thing. Is there any like Protoss all-ins that you find difficult?
Not really. I mean, in most cases, if I can see the all in, and then I'm all set, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So okay, like okay, we're gonna base it on that we're doing this build, okay?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you see that a Mortal Sentry all-in's coming, and tell me what you do.
So I would get Roach Warren if I hadn't already, and just
Yeah.
stop droning at around maybe 3 base mineral saturation, or a bit less than 3 base, and just start pumping out units.
Yeah, okay. What units?
I don't know if I should actually try to tech into Hydras or just go with Roachling defense.
It really depends on like what time you scouted, okay?
Yeah.
So okay, let's say you scouted. It's an 8:45 minute push, okay? And let's say you scouted at 6 minutes with your Overlord scout, okay? You scout gateways coming down. You scout the Robo. You can go straight into Hydras if you want, and go maybe like 10 Roaches for tanky, then
Yeah.
lots of Hydras, lots of Lings. That's safe to do. But you need to scout it early, right? So another example, let's say it's like 8 minutes and you scout it. You know, you don't have time to go into this tech. You just have to pump out as much units as you can. So you go Roach and Lings. If you it depends on your econ, okay? So let's say if you want to go Hydras, you go 5 gas instead of 6 gas because you're not going for a big Hydra ball, you're only going for a few for DPS. But let's say you see, let's say if you want to go Roach Ling, if you it's personal preference. If you want to go more Roach heavy, you want to go for 4 gases. But if you want to go for like more Ling heavy, you want to go for 3 gases. It's both are really fine. It depends on how you want to play it. Personally, I always go for the 4 gas method because I always like having the bigger roach ball because roaches are good.
Yeah. Okay.
So what upgrades do you have?
I would have mainly, I guess +1 attack only.
Yep. You don't want to get +2 attack because you won't be finished in time. Will
Yeah.
you get roach speed?
I would try to go for roach speed, yes, and hope that it would finish.
Yeah. You
in
should
time.
always set roach speed every time.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this is really, really important. Because, like, the faster you can wrap around his army, the better.
Yeah.
You want to wrap around ASAP.
And what if if I somehow scouted early, wouldn't it be a bit more intelligent to go for carapace to benefit both roaches and lynx, or just
No,
straight
I think
+1?
going for the +1 attack is still better. Like, card-based +1 doesn't really make a huge difference. Like, just going for the +1 attack is always kind of beneficial.
Okay.
But I guess if you did want to go for the card base, then going for the 3 gas as opposed to 4 gas would be the better option. You know, because you want to get more lings out instead of roaches because the roaches are only there really for tankiness.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about blink, Colin? Tell me how to defend against that.
Well, I would need to scout it early, of course, but I would actually go for lynx, a ton of lynx against stalkers.
Pure lings.
I would get some roaches, but mainly lynx.
Okay, did you get
Or
hydralisks?
yeah, maybe Link Hydra better than Link Roach Link.
So yeah, like you said, it's all about when you scout it.
Yeah.
If you scout blink all in early, you can go for Hydra Link, which is the better choice, the most optimal choice, because they Hydras with the link support just wreck, they just destroy link stalkers, and like the links wrap around is really good. But let's say you scouted a bit too late. Did you watch Jaedong versus Deer in BlizzCon?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the game on
Acheron Waste.
Yeah, Acheron Waste. Yeah, I did.
That's like the best thing to do if you scared a bit too late, like Jaedong did. He scared a little too late. So you have roaches and lings. You just get burrow, and you just make loads of roaches and lings, and you burrow at a place that his army is probably gonna go over. You know, so like at a good choke point, and he was on burrow on top of his army. It's a bit riskier to do, but if you're a bit behind, it's the better thing to do. Like if you scared a bit too late. I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever played against Naniwa's Century or Naniwa's Zelda Immortal, Alan?
I've played against it maybe twice in my whole life, but both times it killed me because I didn't really know the build. Didn't really understand it.
So do you understand what to go for, or do you still not really know?
I don't really know, actually. I don't really know how to stop it because I faced it so few, so...
Yeah, it's one of those builds that come up every so often, but it's important to know how to deal with it. So, it hits really, really early, a very, very early timing. You're not going to get hydralisk out. So what I actually like doing, which works for me most times, is I'll get a Roach Warren, obviously, and I'll also get a Baneling Nest. Like a Baneling Nest,
Yeah.
And Roach Bane, few lings. Not too many Banes, maybe 10 max, at max 10. And 10 will just destroy the Zelda ball.
Nice, okay. So if I were to sacrifice an overload around 6:30 or something, what buildings would tip me off?
You should be scouting it a lot earlier than 6:30. I'll give you some pointers. So remember, have a look at this map, okay? Maybe this map's not the most ideal actually. Okay, let's imagine a map like Frost, okay? So imagine the natural base of Frost, and now imagine in between the natural and the main. There's a little airspace there that you can send an overlord, and you can go check the gases from there pretty easily. Yeah. So let's say you do that, and you see one gas at 4 minutes. So
4 minutes, okay.
Yeah. So a one gassing Protoss can do one of two things, most common. he can go for the 4-gauge Zealot, or he can go for the Naniwa Sentry, or Naniwa Zealot Immortal all-in, which is done off 1 gas. So
really?
yeah.
Okay.
So just keep scouting it, and if he still has 1 gas for a long while, you can rule out that he's not going for 4-gauge Zealot, based on the fact that he either has a Robo that you scouted, or based on the fact that he doesn't have a probe around the map, or like a pylon. So what you do in that case is you get down your Roach Warren, get down your Bane Nest, and it's really important not to over drone. Like literally only droning like a max of 10 drones at your 3rd base.
Yeah. Okay.
And having a max of like 2 or 3 gases. Like you don't want to be going for a big gas count. Then you just get a 10 Banelings, get like a Roach Ball, and lots of Lings, because the Lings are what's going to kill the Immortals, and the Roaches are just there for just beefiness really. Yeah. And just put all the army on like a hotkey, and then put the Banelings on a separate hotkey. Like put the Banelings on both hotkeys, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay. And then you know, 1A focus fire, and focus the Banelings onto the Zealots. It seriously, do not focus the Banelings on the Immortals for obvious reasons. Like, that's just like, it'll end the game for you, you lose. Yeah, so like, they're the most common all-ins really. And then obviously like, if they do like that sentry thing in the War Prism, you just like have a few Queens there, have a few Roaches and Lings there, and they can't do anything. And that's really the only really 2 base all-ins that a Protoss can do. Yeah. Okay. So hope you have a better understanding of the matchup now.
Yeah, definitely. So I should be sending an Overload Scout, or at least sitting in that little spot at around maybe 5 minutes or something, or earlier than that.
If you can fit your Overlord in the gap between the natural and the main, at a space where he can see the mineral line, as well as go in for a scout later on, like always go for it. But obviously, like a map like this, you can't really do it because the space there is too small. Yeah. As well, you can like send Lings into the main or stuff like that, or you can just sack an Overlord early. Okay. Because like if you go for a drone scout, you'll see he has 1 gas as opposed to 2 gases, and you can just scout later on. And if you see a Robo or still 1 gas, just instantly that should be going through your head. Okay. Because you can't do a Robo all-in. Like there is no other Robo all-in that's off 1 gas. If he goes for the War Prism Sentry, he needs more gases. If he goes for this, if he goes for Sentry Immortal, he obviously needs more gas. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Good. So I think we don't really have much more time to do another build. But any last minute questions? No, I think that covers pretty much all. Perfect. So I hope you learned a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. No worries. So yeah, this is Lucoda's coaching corner, going over a ZvP build and another ZvP build, 2 of them. I hope you all learned a lot, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can ask me on Twitter at LucodaSC2. Thanks for watching, I'll see you later. Bye bye.
신의 선수가 되는 거고요. 그렇죠. 멀티에 방해도 받지 않으면서 안전하게 해주고 있는 모습인데 맹독 측의 스피드업이 되기 전에 즉 전방 위에서만 싸워야 되고 전방만 좀 제거하고 빠지면 돼요. 네. 여기 스캐너만 뿌리고 이 근육을 살려면 그렇습니다. 대응 잘못하면은 부분 상황에 뒤집어질 수 있으나 현재까지는 준비를 이시동 선수가 조금 더 잘해주고 있었다. 이렇게 생각을 해야 될 것 같습니다. 그렇죠. 그 상황이 신의 선수가 좋습니다. 그린디가 계속 앞서서 싸움을 걸 수 있는 건 보통 싸워서 써먹어야 되거든요. 힘을 더 필요 없다는 걸 알아는 거고요. 제 3번 실력이